Hello, fellow safety and health professional, and welcome to another podcast in a long series of podcasts based on an article in Safety and Health magazine that's all about you. What is the most important skill a professional safety speaker needs to master? I've been asked that question dozens of times during my career as a professional safety speaker. Now, those several skills are needed to become a professional speaker. Besides those you deploy on the stage, no matter what the subject, when you are in front of an audience, whether it's a small group safety meeting, a technical training session, or a grandiose keynote address, I found the single most crucial skill, there's many more than this, but this is the main one, is to be able to get your audience to like you. Yes, getting your audience to like you seems quaint, but it's not. And it takes thoughtful practice and awareness to be liked while you're on stage. It doesn't just happen. You got to think about it, work on it. It doesn't matter what you're talking about. If your audience doesn't like you, you won't have much of a positive impact. You can be the most respected and learned person in your field, which may fetch you attention and some valuable appreciation. But if your audience thinks you're a know-it-all jerk who they don't like, what they will remember the most are their bad feelings about you and your delivery. So, how do you get an audience to like you? And I'm talking about any audience. It doesn't matter if it's one-on-one, a group of colleagues, at a staff meeting, a pre-job safety review before 5 iron workers, or an annual manager meeting where you've been selected to give a talk on your company's safety performance before hundreds of fellow professionals. Here are the keys to speaker likability. Show unique appreciation. You don't need to start your talk or training with grateful expressions. Depending on the situation, it can even seem lame. I've watched impressive, famous speakers begin with a thank you, while others startle their audience with a bold statement. But only a few have I seen not show appreciation at some point while on the stage. It's really your general attitude that speaks of appreciation, including subtle statements or you do something just for your audience. For example, I spoke in Hawaii a few years ago at an ASSE convention. I performed a safety parody song at the end of my talk entitled Working Safely, and it was based on the melody to Hawaiian musical legend Don Ho's song Tiny Bubbles. It was fun, and I believe I got a big applause. And performing that song showed I knew about my audience and had taken time for them and about Hawaii and about, Don Ho, of course. And I wasn't there just for my agenda. Now, when your audience knows you aren't there to warn them about safety and health do's and don'ts, but that you appreciate their efforts, and your main motive is to help, not to tell them what to do, they will like you. Too often, I've seen safety speakers spend most of their stage time warning their audience about how nasty it will be if they violate a safety procedure. That will not endear you to your audience. Now, a big aha moment for me was when I realized, I don't remember when, it was many years ago actually, that the skills I need to succeed at one-on-one interactions, the people I see every day, were precisely the same as those I needed to use on stage. There are differences, of course. My gesturing, if you and I were sitting down at a table together, my gesturing on the stage is going to be a bit more grandiose and expansive than it would be if I was just talking to one person or just a couple. And I don't use slides when I'm at a party or hanging out at my local club. But I think that would be hilarious, really. Think about it. Hello, guys. Before we play pool tonight, I'd like to display a few slides on the importance of hazard recognition. That's just a funny thought. Now, what gets an audience to like you? Here's 10 things I want to pass on to you. Number 1, express interest in their life and local culture, not just yours. Now, you might work at a plant somewhere, so the local culture is also your culture, but use that. Use the fact that there's something local that you have in common, to be part of your presentation or whatever it is that you're, passing on. Number 2, be humble. Show you are human, just like everyone listening to you. Number 3, don't act as if you are a know-it-all. You know something more than your audience, I would hope, but not everything. You got expertise in a specific area in this case. Number 4, talk about how you learned what you're sharing. How did you know this? How come you know about respiratory protection? I used to be what I thought was a guru on it. Well, it's because I went to courses, studied it a lot, did it, I could tell my audience why I know about this. And they don't mind that if you're sharing why you know about your specific expertise. Number 5, laugh at yourself. Audiences love it when a speaker humorously exposes weaknesses and past foibles. In fact, that's why most stand-up comedians that are really successful also make fun of themselves. 6, describe why you're passionate about your subject. Why do I care about you? Well, make safety fun. Why do I think that's important? What is it about me and my core beliefs that makes me want to share with you ways to make safety fun? 7, explain how you overcame an obstacle or severe life challenge. This shows you're human, and that also shows that you've been able to rise above and handle things that possibly all of us handle, and that gives you some insight. Number 8, show you relish interaction because it shows you care about what your audience thinks and feels. If you can, in the virtual world now it's harder, but whenever you can interact with your audience, do it. I have found my best talks have been when I have been able to, in some different ways, interact with the audience. It shows you care about them personally. Number 9, don't be fake. Unless you're portraying a character. I do this Vinny Forte character sometimes in my talks, and I act like I'm from South Philly. But everybody knows I'm portraying a character. I'm being an actor. Other than that, be yourself. In fact, one of my favorite compliments is when someone tells me I'm the same off the platform, off the stage, as I am when I formally speak. If they hang out with me at the reception there and they say, this is really how you are, that's a great compliment. And number 10, a big one. Don't be stern and reserved and act like an authority. Have fun. Lighten up. You don't have to be a comic, but lighten up. Have fun. Enjoy what you're doing. Because if you're having a good time, your audience is going to like it, going to like you, and they're going to have a good time too.